Let's say the quiet part loud enough to make the whole internet uncomfortable. Some women love their children with their entire soul and still hate being a mother sometimes. Not the child, the job, the invisible labor, the constant needing, the noise, the guilt, the loss of identity, the way everybody expects you to become a saint the minute a baby comes out of your body. And Lord forbid a mother tells the truth, because the second she says, "I'm tired," somebody crawls out of the floorboard saying, "Well, you should have thought about that before you had kids." Shut up. That ain't wisdom. That's lazy cruelty dressed up like accountability, because nobody tells women the whole truth about motherhood. They sell you the baby shower version. Tiny socks, cute blankets, soft music, a nursery that looks like Pinterest threw up in pastel. But they don't tell you about the version of motherhood where you're standing in the kitchen at 11:47 p.m. eating cold leftovers over the sink, wondering when the hell you became everybody's emotional power outlet. They don't tell you about loving your child so much it physically hurts, while also wanting to disappear for 3 days where nobody says mama, nobody touches you, nobody asks you where anything is, and nobody needs your body, your brain, your patience, your money, your softness, your forgiveness, or your last damn nerve. And that is the part women are terrified to say, because society don't want mothers to be human. It wants mothers to be useful. Motherhood is the only job where people expect you to be grateful for being exhausted. They'll see a woman drowning and say, "But aren't you blessed?" Yes, she's blessed, and she's tired as hell. Both can be true. A woman can love her children and still miss the woman she was before she became everybody's emergency contact. She can adore her baby's laugh and still grieve, sleeping through the night. She can kiss little foreheads and still fantasize about a quiet apartment where nobody is screaming because their sock feels weird. She can be a damn good mother and still think, "I don't know if I like this life today." That doesn't make her evil. That makes her honest. But nobody wants an honest mother. They want the smiling one, the selfless one, the one who says, "I wouldn't trade it for the world," even when some days she absolutely would trade the screaming, the mess, the mental load, and the identity crisis for one full day of silence and a sandwich she didn't have to share. And that's what makes motherhood so emotionally violent sometimes. Not because children are bad, because the role consumes women and then shames them for noticing they've been eaten alive. Nobody prepares you for the funeral of your former self. There's no black dress, no church, no flowers, no obituary that says, "Here lies the woman who used to pee alone, sleep deeply, think complete thoughts, and have dreams that didn't have to be scheduled around nap time, school pickup, and somebody else's hunger." She just disappears quietly, piece by piece. First goes her body, then her sleep, then her free time, then her friendships, then her sexuality, then her patience, then her name. Because eventually nobody calls her by who she is anymore. She becomes mom at the doctor's office, at school, at home, at the grocery store, in her own damn head. And yes, being called mama can be beautiful, but sometimes it can also feel like an eraser. Because before she was mama, she was somebody. She had music she liked, places she wanted to go, a body that belonged to her, a mind that wandered, dreams that didn't have baby wipes in the purse. And one day, she looks in the mirror and realizes she has become a person built entirely out of responsibilities. That's a grief. And nobody lets mothers grieve it. They tell her, enjoy every moment. Every moment, even the one where she's crying in the laundry room because the baby won't stop crying and she hasn't showered and her partner is somehow helping by asking her what needs to be done instead of using the 2 eyeballs God gave him. Every moment, even the one where she's touched out, overstimulated, underfed, lonely, and expected to be gentle because they're only little once. Yes, they're only little once. But she's only alive once too. Let's talk about the thoughts women don't say out loud. Not because they're bad mothers, because they're terrified people will misunderstand them. Some mothers think, I want to run away, not forever, just long enough to hear themselves breathe. Some think I made a mistake, not because they don't love their child, because they didn't understand the cost. Some think, I miss my old life so bad it feels like cheating. Some think, I don't want to be touched anymore. Some think, I hate who I've become. Some think, I love them, but I hate this version of me. Some think, if one more person asks me what's for dinner, I'm going to walk into the woods and let the raccoons raise me. And then, immediately after thinking it, they feel guilty. Because motherhood comes with a built-in courtroom. The judge is society. The jury is everybody with an opinion. And the defendant is always the mother. If the child struggles, blame the mother. If the house is messy, blame the mother. If she works too much, blame the mother. If she stays home, ask what she does all day. If she asks for help, she's complaining. If she doesn't ask, she's bitter. If she disciplines, she's harsh. If she's gentle, she's weak. If she has needs, she's selfish. If she has no needs, she's invisible. That kind of pressure will make a woman's soul start chewing on itself. Women don't hate motherhood because they're ungrateful. They hate the setup. They hate the way motherhood is packaged as love, but often delivered as isolation. They hate being the default parent, the default calendar, the default cook, the default cleaner, the default emotional translator, the default birthday planner, the default school form signer, the default doctor appointment maker, the default memory keeper, the default sock finder, the default do we have more toothpaste, the default everything. And then some man will walk in and say, just tell me what you need. Sir, the fact that she has to manage you managing the house is the damn problem. That's not partnership. That's a group project where one person does all the work and the other one asks where the Google Doc is. And then there's the emotional labor, the invisible shit. Knowing which child needs new shoes, knowing who has a field trip, knowing the baby has a rash, knowing the teenager is too quiet, knowing the fridge is low, knowing the dog needs food, knowing the appointment needs rescheduling, knowing the family is one missed task away from chaos. Mothers don't just carry children, they carry the operating system of the whole damn house. And people wonder why she's angry. She's not angry because she hates her family. She's angry because she's been made into infrastructure. Everybody stands on her. Nobody checks if she's cracking. And let's get into the body. Because motherhood does something strange to a woman's body. First, your body becomes a home. Then it becomes a food source. Then it becomes a comfort object. Then it becomes something strangers feel qualified to comment on. Too big, too small, bounce back. let herself go. Still breastfeeding, not breastfeeding, had a C-section, had a natural birth, too tired for sex, too emotional, too changed. Everybody got a damn opinion about a body they do not live in. And some women look at their bodies after children and don't recognize themselves. Not in a cute Tiger Stripes inspirational quote way. In a, who is this woman and where did I go? way. They feel betrayed by the mirror. They feel guilty for feeling betrayed. They feel touched out, but still expected to be desirable. They feel exhausted, but still expected to be sexually available. They feel like their body has been used, rearranged, stretched, emptied, demanded from, and then judged for not looking untouched. That kind of contradiction will make a woman want to scream into a pillow until the ancestors wake up, because motherhood asks women to give their bodies away, then tells them to love whatever is left without complaint. One of the cruelest parts of motherhood is how lonely it can be while you're never alone. You can have a child on your hip, one yelling from the bathroom, toys on the floor, a partner in the next room, cartoons blasting, dishes piled up, laundry breathing like it pays rent, and still feel like the loneliest woman on earth, because presence is not the same as support. Noise is not the same as connection. Being needed is not the same as being known. A lot of mothers are surrounded by people who depend on them but do not see them. They know mom is tired, but do they know her? They know she makes things happen, but do they know what's dying inside her? They know she'll figure it out, but do they know she's tired of being the one who always has to? That's the loneliness. Not being physically alone. Being emotionally unseen. And some mothers don't even tell anybody how bad it gets because they already know the responses. Well, that's motherhood. You'll miss this one day. Other women have it worse. At least your kids are healthy. All true. All useless when a woman is silently falling apart. Sometimes she doesn't need perspective. Sometimes she needs somebody to take the baby, wash the dishes, shut the hell up, and let her be a person for an hour. Now here's the part that makes women feel monstrous. Sometimes motherhood is boring. There, I said it. Not meaningful, not important, not sacred, boring. Mind-numbingly repetitive. Pack the lunch, wipe the counter, find the shoe, change the diaper, break up the fight, answer the question, read the same book, make the snack, clean the spill, start the laundry, forget the laundry, re-wash the laundry, smell the laundry because now it sat too long and smells like swamp regret. Do it again tomorrow. And the next day. And the next. Some women don't hate their children. They hate the repetition. They hate the lack of intellectual stimulation. They hate that their entire day can disappear into tasks that will be undone by bedtime. They hate that motherhood often feels like building a sandcastle while people keep kicking it over and asking why you're not smiling. And then comes the shame, because you're supposed to find meaning in every little thing, but some days you don't. Some days the meaning is buried under dishes, bills, tantrums, and your own rage. Some days you don't feel blessed, you feel trapped, and then you hate yourself for feeling trapped, because the trap has a face you love. That's the mind fuck. Motherhood rage is real, and it scares women because it doesn't always feel like normal anger. It feels ancient. It feels like every unmet need, every ignored boundary, every sleepless night, every unsupported moment, every "you're so strong," every unpaid sacrifice, every swallowed scream, all standing up inside your body at once. And suddenly, it's not about the spilled juice. It's about the fact that nobody notices you until you malfunction. It's not about the toys on the floor. It's about the fact that you asked for help 600 times and somehow still became the villain for raising your voice. It's not about the child asking one more question. It's about having no room left inside your nervous system. And then the rage passes, and here comes guilt, that nasty guilt, that mother guilt that sits on your chest like a debt collector. Good mothers don't get that angry. Yes, they do. Unsupported mothers do. Overstimulated mothers do. Mothers without rest do. Mothers carrying childhood wounds while trying not to pass them down do. Mothers who were never modeled emotional regulation do. Mothers who are parenting their children and reparenting themselves at the same damn time do. The goal is not to pretend rage doesn't exist. The goal is to listen to what the rage is pointing at, because rage is often grief with its sleeves rolled up. This is where we need precision, because some people hear "I hate being a mother" sometimes and immediately twist it into "I hate my kids." No, that's not what this is. A mother can love her children deeply and resent the life structure motherhood trapped her in. She can love the person and hate the pressure, love the child and hate the exhaustion, love the hugs and hate the disappearance of self, love the family and hate the fact that she is always the one adapting, love bedtime kisses and hate bedtime battles, love being needed sometimes and hate being needed constantly, love watching them grow and still grieve that she has no room to grow. Those are not contradictions. That's motherhood. Motherhood is not one feeling. It's a weather system. Sunlight and thunder. Tenderness and resentment. Joy and suffocation. Pride and grief. Gratitude and rage. And if we would stop forcing mothers to be holy little robots, maybe more women could tell the truth before the truth turns into bitterness. Some women hate motherhood sometimes because motherhood wakes up the little girl in them who was never mothered. That's a layer people don't talk about enough. Your child cries and suddenly you're angry because nobody came when you cried. Your child needs comfort and something inside you whispers, "Must be nice." Your child gets softness, and a buried part of you feels jealous, then ashamed, then confused. Your child is allowed to have needs, and it confronts the part of you that was punished for needing anything. Motherhood can be beautiful, but it can also be a damn haunted house. Every room has a memory. Every trigger has a younger version of you standing behind it. That's why some mothers snap and then cry later, because they don't even know where that reaction came from. It came from the old wound, the one with your name on it, the one you keep calling just stress. And this is where cycle breakers have to do holy, brutal work, because you are not just raising a child. You are interrupting a bloodline. You are teaching your nervous system that a child having emotions is not a threat. You are learning that your child's neediness is not manipulation. You are learning that softness does not make them weak. You are learning that you can be firm without being cruel. You are learning that you can apologize without losing authority. You are learning that your child is not responsible for the childhood you didn't get. That's heavy. That's why you're tired. You're not just mothering. You're excavating. Let's talk about the fantasy, the one where you imagine leaving, not because you would, but because your brain is trying to find an emergency exit. Some mothers imagine a hotel room, white sheets, cold air, no one touching them, no one calling them, no one needing a snack, no one asking what's wrong, just silence. Some imagine driving and not turning around. Some imagine changing their name and becoming a mysterious woman who drinks coffee hot and doesn't know the theme song to any children's show. Some imagine getting sick just enough to be left alone. That's how starved some mothers are for rest. They don't want death. They want a pause button. They want to exist without being consumed. And because nobody gives mothers sacred rest, their minds start fantasizing about escape. That is not evil. That is a signal, a warning light, a smoke alarm. Your body saying, I cannot keep being everything to everybody while being nothing to myself. Society sets women up, then judges the breakdown. It tells girls motherhood is destiny, then gives mothers no village, no paid support, no real rest, no emotional safety, no forgiveness, no room to be complicated. It glamorizes sacrifice, then mocks women for looking sacrificed. It says children need present mothers, then structures the world so mothers are exhausted, underpaid, unsupported, and drowning. It tells women to ask for help, then punishes them for needing it. It tells mothers to be soft, productive, attractive, patient, available, ambitious, humble, organized, sexually alive, emotionally regulated, financially contributing, endlessly nurturing, and then acts shocked when she starts feeling like motherhood is a beautiful prison with finger paintings on the wall. That's why women hate it sometimes, because the institution of motherhood has been built on women disappearing gracefully, and some women are done disappearing. So here is the truth. You are allowed to not enjoy every part of motherhood. You are allowed to miss yourself. You are allowed to need silence. You are allowed to be bored. You are allowed to be angry. You are allowed to grieve. You are allowed to say, this is hard, without adding a sweet little disclaimer so people don't think you're ungrateful. You are allowed to love your children and still admit motherhood sometimes feels like being buried alive under tiny socks and everyone else's expectations. You are allowed to be a mother and a woman, not just a caregiver, not just a sacrifice machine, not just a soft place everybody lands. You are a person with a nervous system, with dreams, with limits, with hunger, with rage, with a body, with a soul, with a name beyond mama. And the more honest you are about the parts of motherhood that hurt, the less likely you are to let those parts turn you into someone your children have to recover from. Because silence doesn't make mothers better. Truth does. Now let me be clear. This is not permission to mistreat your children. This is permission to tell the truth so you don't, because the mothers who scare me are not the ones saying, I'm struggling. The mothers who scare me are the ones pretending they're fine while poisoning the whole house with resentment. Truth is a pressure valve. Truth lets the steam out before the whole damn kitchen explodes. So what do you do with this truth? You stop romanticizing burnout. You stop calling exhaustion love. You stop measuring your motherhood by how much of yourself you can abandon. You stop waiting until you're empty to ask for help. You stop pretending rest has to be earned. You stop apologizing for needing a life that includes you. And you start building small rebellions. A locked bathroom door, a real bedtime, a boundary with family, a conversation with your partner that does not end with you minimizing your pain, a walk alone, a meal you eat sitting down, a therapist, a friend you tell the whole truth to, a moment where you say, I love my children, but I am not okay. And then you let that sentence be enough. No performance, no guilt parade, no fake smile, just truth. Motherhood is sometimes a garden, and sometimes it is a field you are expected to harvest while starving. Sometimes it is warm cheeks pressed against your neck. Sometimes it is your own name fading from your mouth. Sometimes it is the sweetest love you have ever known. Sometimes it is a mirror showing you every wound you never got to heal. Sometimes it is laughter in the hallway. Sometimes it is crying in the car before walking back inside. Sometimes it is purpose. Sometimes it is prison. Sometimes it is both before breakfast. And you are not broken because you feel all of it. You are not evil because you want more than survival. You are not selfish because you want silence. You are not ungrateful because you miss the woman who existed before the world started calling you mama. You are not a bad mother because some days you hate the weight of motherhood. You are human, painfully, beautifully, dangerously human. And maybe the most loving thing you can do for your children is refuse to become a martyr they have to mourn while you're still alive. And listen to me before you leave this video. Do not sit here, feel seen for 10 minutes, cry in the bathroom, wipe your face, and then go right back to abandoning yourself tomorrow morning. Your exhaustion is not your identity. Your suffering is not proof of love. And you were not born just to become a machine that keeps everybody else alive while your own spirit starves to death in silence. That woman inside you, the one before the titles, before the pressure, before everybody started needing pieces of you, she still exists. She ain't dead. She's buried under survival mode. That's why I created the free ebooks. That's why I made the free audio books, because some of y'all don't need another motivational quote slapped on a sunset. You need truth. You need language for the pain you've been swallowing your whole life. You need somebody to finally say the shit nobody says out loud. And if you're the type who'd rather wear your healing instead of explaining it, go visit the website on the screen, get the shirts, get the words your soul been screaming in silence, get something that reminds you who the hell you are every time you put it on. Because this journey ain't just about surviving motherhood. It's about surviving yourself long enough to become the woman your children actually need to witness. A woman with boundaries. A woman with truth. A woman who stopped shrinking. A woman who finally understood that loving everybody else should not require murdering herself slowly in the process. You are more powerful than the guilt. More powerful than the conditioning, more powerful than the generations of women who were taught to disappear quietly. You are not weak because motherhood broke parts of you. Some things break open so the light can finally get in.